Okay, welcome to Music and Retail and Distribution, everybody. I'm Brandy. Thanks so much for watching this replay. Nobody's with me today, so I will actually just be recording this on my own. It'll be pretty brief. It's just a little welcome for all of you. This is me, of course. Introductions. Okay, I usually ask y'all some questions about, what your intended career is, where you're from, what kind of interest you have, how do you listen to your music, as in streaming or maybe vinyl. So what are you doing to network right now in the industry, and what's your favorite social platform? So I'd love to hear from you if you want to respond to this on within the discussion board and just kind of reply back and say hello to me and let me know a little bit about you. That would be really great. You also have a welcome video by me in the welcome area. But just as a reminder, I worked with Atlantic Records for a few years. I worked with some recording studios and other record labels. So I've been in the industry for 20 years almost now. It's been 19 years because now we're in 2019 and I got into the industry in 2000. That's when I was hired with Atlantic. So I've been working at Full Sail since 2008. Wow, 2008. So it's been 11 years that I've been with Full Sail, and I was working in the industry for quite a long time while I was at Full Sail, but now I am actually a content marketer online. I do digital distribution and digital marketing online, but not in the music industry anymore. But it's more just content marketing itself. So that all plays well into the class as well, of course. We talk about product launches in here and marketing and distribution online. All right, so to talk a little bit about course goals and objectives, just to give you an idea of what you're going to be getting into this semester, we're going to be doing royalty calculations with Excel spreadsheets, and you've started that this week. We are talking about artist royalties, producer royalties, and manager royalties this week. So you get to see what they're making depending on how many albums they sell. Methods of distribution, another big one, like for instance, distributing through an online platform like Spotify, or getting your music out into stores or selling at shows, things like that. And then we have the psychology of sales, which is one of my favorite classes. This is where we talk about sales strategies and also closing strategies in sales and the psychology of how it works and why it works. I also give you a process of persuasion that you use within an infomercial that you create for an artist. And then we're going to do website design for e-commerce. Now, website design for e-commerce, this is not techie stuff. This is all design work with a really easy little platform called Bandzoogle. And so the reason I have you do this is so that you can put together a website, a basic website for an artist. And this is a website. Bandzoogle is a website that it's a platform that is made for artists. So it's templates and themes that are all geared towards the artist. And then finally, we'll talk about newsletter promotions later on in the semester. And we're going to do a digital newsletter online through MailChimp, which is one of the biggest autoresponders in the world right now, which is a lot of fun. All right, so a little bit more about what to expect. You're going to be doing a lot of Excel work. It won't be real high-end Excel work. You're just going to do like some research with spreadsheets, and you're going to do this royalty calculation this week. This is the template. So you can see I actually give you the formulas. It's not like you have to create the formulas on your own, really. The P&L, you've done P&Ls before, profit and loss statements, so not a big deal. Okay, so this right here is the midterm project. You have a midterm to complete, music product plan. And it's an ebook format, which means you're just going to create it in probably Keynote or wherever you like, really. But I like Keynote. It's pretty easy to use. And then you just export it to a PDF. And so you're going to be using all of the stuff we're doing over these first 2 weeks in your midterm. So we're going to create a number one fan profile. We're going to do pricing strategy work and competition research. So here is a nice little list of what's going to be in your midterm exercise. So we have a #1 fan profile, which is, establishing a target market. We have the choice of distributor, and we'll be choosing your distributor this week. You've already been working on that. Choice of website builder, which we're working on next week. You're going to price your product, and that will be due this weekend, working on pricing. So you'll get that done this weekend probably. And then next week, we'll be doing a retailer spreadsheet and a media contact sheet to find like radio people, reviewers, bloggers, podcasters, things like that. All right, so your final project will be the final 2 weeks of the semester, and we're going to be doing a digital release strategy. And again, this is an ebook, about 10 pages, do it in Keynote. So the final project exercises, you have a digital product launch, you have the sales projections, which is a little math sheet, calculations, and then a release strategy, which is a little outline that you're going to put together that includes pre-release, launch tactics, release tactics, and sales goals, and finally a post-release strategy. So we'll get there in the final week. Other assignments. Well, you're going to be doing that website mock-up, and you're going to be using Bandzoogle. You're going to be doing a newsletter, a digital newsletter with MailChimp. And you're going to be doing an infomercial project. Your infomercial is a lot of fun. Everybody has a lot of fun with the infomercial project. I enjoy grading these. You get to use a real process of persuasion that's used in commercials and infomercials. You will also be using a bonus close or I won't even go into all the closing strategies right now, but you'll be using one of the closing strategies that I teach you in the lesson, and you get to choose one or two that you want to use and demonstrate in your infomercial, which is closing strategies that they actually use in real infomercials. This is an example infomercial. I'm not going to actually show it today. I'll let you just watch the examples that I have posted for you. But this was a fun one that my student did a couple of years ago. Some keys to success in my class. First of all, take notes. I give you lots of lecture material, including very long lectures with lots of information. So please take notes. If you're going to have a midterm test, you're going to have a final exam in my class. And if you don't take notes, you're not going to do that great on those tests. I'll tell you that right now. I can tell when somebody takes notes. I can tell in their assessments through like the infomercial project. I can tell through the midterm and the final. I can tell through the test. I could tell if you apply yourself because my concepts are very specific to my background. And so if you don't take notes, you're not going to do well in my class. People do fail it. Okay, I want you to communicate with me. If there's an issue, communicate with me up front. I do not give you an extension on something if you ask me after it's already due. If you're hearing some noise, I have a couple of cats running around the house. So sorry about that. Hopefully I don't knock anything over. But communicate with me is this is very important. I have my phone number up, my cell phone number up. It's a Google cell phone number, and that's posted in the welcome area. Please put it in your phone. If you have any issues, if you need an extension, you have to communicate with me before it's due. If you don't, I need a documented emergency, otherwise you get a 0. All right, so communicate with me. Very important. And never wait till the weekend to do your work in my class. If you're working a full-time job, you need to spend an hour or two every evening doing some work, going through some of the lecture material, because if you wait till the weekend, you will not do well in my class because you won't have time to get through everything, because you're going to have to learn the lectures, you're going to have to do the reading, and then you're going to have to do all the work, and then you're going to have to take tests. So don't do that. It's just way too much to wait till the weekend. How I stay up to date with the industry. Well, this is really important for you to stay up to date in the industry because think about it. You're out, you're networking, somebody starts talking about something important that's going on in the industry. For instance, iTunes. They almost shut down iTunes completely recently. And now they are talking about, some other things they're going to do with it. But it's a very different thing now. In fact, they're calling it Apple Music, and there's some changes happening with it. If you don't know things like that are going on in the industry and you're talking to people in the industry, that doesn't make you look very good or that you're an expert. So please stay up to date with the industry. Here are some of my favorite news resources, right? We have Billboard, of course, Rolling Stone. Those are two must, right? Then we have the Bob Lefsetz letter. He's a famous music attorney and blogger. He's very much for the indie artist, so please check out Bob Lefsetz. If you ever go to any conferences, he will likely be there or at least be talked about. The Daily Cord is the South by Southwest newsletter, and it gives you the big highlights in the industry every day. And then finally, my favorite, it's Digital Music News, because this one actually goes over things like Pandora and iTunes and Spotify and all of those things like Tidal Music, all of the digital stuff that's going on with music. Like, for instance, SoundCloud Go now. Okay, so Digital Music News, super important. And that's just digitalmusicnews.com. Here's my contact info if you didn't see it in the welcome area. That's my phone number, my cell. Please put that into your phone so that you can contact me. You can text me if you'd like, if you need anything. And that's my Full Sail email, bprice@fullsail.com. And just to go ahead and say my phone number for you, it's 484-423-4148. Okay. Class overview. This is your little class overview that I have posted in the welcome area. And you can see that we have discussions due every Thursday. We have our assignments and tests and everything are due on Sunday night. And your final discussion boards, of course, are all due on Sunday night. You have a lot to do in this class. It's now a senior level class for you. So you're integrating things from your other classes, and this is a little bit different. But, a lot of this, you've already learned about marketing and stuff, so we don't have to go into that stuff as much. Now you're demonstrating that you really get it and that you're becoming an expert in the area. So anyways, it's a lot of work, but it's really not overwhelming. Everybody enjoys the class so far. I know I do. And my last question for you is, where do you buy your music? For example, I buy my music through Spotify. I pay for a subscription, therefore I buy my music through Spotify. I also buy music like vinyl at my local record stores. But yeah, where do you buy your music? I always find that interesting to find out where people are buying music today. So find an artist to interview, because this semester you're going to be working with an artist, and that artist can be an independent artist. That artist, doesn't have to be a big artist. They don't have to be an intermediate artist. They can be somebody you know. They can be someone in your hometown. This can even be your music. So if you want to do these projects on yourself, feel free to do this on yourself or a classmate. You can work in groups. So just find an artist to interview, somebody that you can talk to, somebody that you can message and actually work with them. I want it to be real world for you, and when we get into using the numbers and stuff, it's going to be a lot easier for you if you actually are able to talk to this person and access their information. All right, so let me know if you have any questions. Thank you so much, everybody, for watching, and I will see you in the discussion board, and I will see you next Friday at 12 o'clock. So see you then.